the pediatrician said, it's normal, don't worry about it. They're growing, they're on the curve. So even though they're hitting like the minimum weight gain, they're still gaining. And there's no need to be concerned. And I think it was more that they thought that having twins was overwhelming. And I know like having twins it really is overwhelming. Taking care of two babies at the same time, it is overwhelming, but it was kind of harder than normal because to get them to gain that, half a pound or the 1 pound, it was just so much work to get them there. And it wasn't until, I would say, she cries a lot. She has a hard time like sleeping. They never really took to solids or purees. Like they're all those milestones that kind of would come naturally. She wouldn't. I remember her reflexes were so sharp. I would just try to come in with like the puree on the spoon and she would just like grab it and like whack it or like turn around, cry and like vomit.
Oh no.
So there was a lot of that. And then it was a bigger practice. So I think we got to see a few of the doctors in the practice and we would explain and they're just like, whatever you're doing, just keep doing because they're gaining and all that kind of stuff. And then it wasn't until their 1 year checkup when we went and we got to see another doctor at that practice that she raised some really raised the red flag that no, they're not where they need to be. They're really low on the curve, borderline failure to thrive. They're going to be behind in speech and OT, and they're going to need all this stuff. And so at that time, I think it was really frustrating because for the entire year I was going in and like pretty much in tears, like I didn't know what to do with them. We started at another pediatrician practice and he put us in touch with a gastroenterologist and feeding therapy. So we did that with both of them. But I always felt that there was something more with Isabella. So I think Jackson, yes, he struggled with eating. He would vomit. There's the constipation issue as well. But with Isabella, it was like 2 notches more. And there was the bruising, the translucent skin. It was like very visible. She developed a umbilical hernia and all these concerns. When I would bring them up, they were like, by the time she turns 8, all this stuff is going to be like resolved. That hernia is going to be an innie because she was born so early that's probably why you see the skin. She didn't get to develop the fat that goes underneath. And then I should say that at the time of her birth, she was diagnosed also with intrauterine growth restriction. So they essentially think that she stopped growing in utero at 32 weeks, and then her water broke at 33 weeks, and then she was delivered at 34. So I think they tied a lot of her having a little bit more of issues to the fact that because of her being such a preemie.
Yeah, so it's easy for them to say, like, yeah, all of these things are happening, but she was a preemie and that just happens with preemies and not look into it.
Right, pretty much.